So we were talking about the biblical principles and the difficult part of sharing your story because it's one of those things where humility says, "Hey, I don't want to go. I don't want to be braggadocious." But at the same time, when this story was only accomplished because of you and Mike's relationship with God, that story is a story about God and how He used you in this lifetime. Right.
Yeah. So, you talked about the engineers that we hired. We hired and had some of the highest, top world class guys in the industry or in the world working for us.
Yeah.
But they didn't come to work for us till after we launched. So, and we always would share the story with God did this.
Yeah.
And they were the biggest group to battle with because dude, you need to take some credit for this. You did this. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. To say that because that really was, and that was a big part of the miracle. Is they couldn't have done it because they didn't have the mind of Christ.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Anyway,
Well, those are the stories that need to be told out into the world, right? Because no offense to the movie The Founder, but man, he was harsh, and how he got everything put together. And those stories get told, and I get it. Everybody wants to know where all these McDonald's started from. But these stories, your stories, you know, whether it ever becomes a movie or not, chances are it won't ever become a movie. But I just want to remind you of the effect because sometimes we don't think it, and because I'm out here enough. There were I think 22 guys sitting in that class today. They will all go talk to their cellmates because at this point they're all curious. Like I said, that they will also share that with their families, their moms, their dads, their brothers, their sisters, their kids, their wives, and that will go out. And then the principles that they apply, because you saw Corey, how many, a few of those guys pulled up the notes they had from when you talked.
Yeah.
2 months ago.
A long time ago.
They went
Yeah.
right to them, right?
Well, and I just loved it because that was what the Holy Spirit had spoken, and it's interesting that that's what they referenced.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, the impact of those 22 guys from today will be in the hundreds of conversations that take place,
Yeah.
hundreds of people that will hear a secondhand story of the story you just told. And that's the change that our culture needs. Your story needs to resonate higher and more often than because it's Christ centered. That story needs to resonate into the cultures if we're ever going to truly, truly, truly get everything out of this life for people that God designed for it.
Well, and even if you go speak, I don't do it as much anymore, but I used to go speak all over the place. And getting someone anywhere in the business world where you speak and 2 months later you come back and they've got notes on it. So they really are in a setting where they can ingest this and really take it in. And just the fact that they referenced those notes was it's just so different than the rest of the world because of how busy we are, I think.
Yeah. Well, and it started, in the very beginning, you recognize that environment, if they use it, is a chance to be able to really get growth. And I'll tell you, there's common denominators with the quality of people that go out there and speak. And that quality is this moment in time. If you're not using this to prepare to be successful and you're just going to wait until you get out, you're never going to have that success because the world's going to attack you. The freedom that does exist in that prison is that they don't have to worry about where their meals are going to come from, where they're going to sleep, their friends, their workouts, their education, their haircuts, their health care, right? That's all taken care of. And I say this every time, we're not selling the prison because there's all kinds of horrible things that offset that. But as soon as they walk out, the moment they gain freedom, they walk out, and if they don't have a great support system to help them, they don't know where they're going to eat that night. They don't know where they're going to put their head. They don't know where healthcare is going to come from. They don't know any of that. So the challenge of freedom is one step. I'm in a prison and I have all that. I step into freedom and I don't have any of that. That locks up far more people than those bars ever will.
Yeah.
So that's why these stories are so important to get out, not just in the prisons, but outside of those prisons. And, you know, I just want to say thanks because I was that made me a better man today listening to that story. And I sat through the latter part of that thing, especially when Tony shared his rap, because his heart was so touched that he wanted to share one of his giftings because you shared your gifting. So,
That was significant to me. That really was.
when he did that, my favorite part of that is I was just behind you so you couldn't see me, but I was watching you because I knew the first time he did that and I heard it.
Same thing happened to me, Scott.
Yeah.
It was that I knew what was coming. I didn't know what he was gonna rap, but I just knew how it really impacted you in a unique way. He's got a real gift.
He does. It's amazing when you know somebody's heart's about to be touched. And as soon as he started doing that, I knew your heart was going to be touched. And I watched it.
Well, how could you not? I mean, that's just, you know, all these guys. You know, the last guy I was talking to before we left, guy that was wanting to do the dry cleaning
Dry
business.
cleaning, mobile.
And he was telling me, okay, so he went in when he was 20 years old. He's 41 now, and he's getting out next year.
Yep.
His adult life has been behind bars.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling me, so not only am I going to start my business, but I got to take care of my mom because she's got breast cancer. I've got to take care of my son because I don't know him. And my granddaughter, who's I've never even met. I'm thinking, man, you're stepping out into a real world here. This is the challenges that he's facing are significant.
They're significant.
It doesn't seem like that big of a deal.
It
it's
does.
huge.
But you know what I loved about that was the one guy that could not get up to ask more questions. He was. Did you see him trying to feel his way out? All right, what is the question that I need to ask right now?
Yeah.
And he was up and up and
Yeah.
up asking questions, and
Yeah.
so he's just hungry. He doesn't know the knowledge he needs, but he's trying to find it. You know.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about the way he was asking questions.
He wouldn't have shared his story with you, and we won't get into the whole thing now. But to say he's come from a really dark place would be an understatement. So he's fighting to be a different man, and he is very scared of the fact that his past, even though he's been gone that long, that there will be people waiting for him that want to take him out.
Is that a reality?
It's a reality. It's a reality. And so, you know, he's in here preparing to do all that stuff and to start the business and do all those great things he's talking about. But I don't know if I've seen more change in anybody than I have in him, because now he's listening and he's softening and he's hearing. Before, it was always confronting and challenging and everything else. So, you know, the prayers are for these guys, that whatever their pasts are, that as they're changing, that the environment allows them to be protected so they can be the men they're becoming, not the men they were. And that's just a reality. Some of them worse and harder realities than others. Thanks again.